The most popular platform in the world for making a website is WordPress, site or blog. And the most used plugin for SEO purposes is SEO by Yoast, WordPress SEO by Yoast. And it's actually one of the most used plugins overall. So more than 1 million is installed. And to me, this is a bit strange. So I will try to demonstrate in this blog post that you have alternative to using the plugin, and in my opinion they can be somewhat better. So it's quite a long post for a long demonstration, and I made it a video so that you will understand my reasoning better. But just remember that I'm trying to demonstrate that you can have better ways than using WordPress SEO by Yoast. You can have better ways of doing SEO for your blog/website. Okay, so this is the plugin. It's very well documented. It has a video. I will link to it in the description. And I really like the way it was organized and made. So very nice. I almost have no objections at all. So most of the reviews are positive. It's a good plugin. It has support and it's very popular. Okay, so what does the plugin? If you write a blog post, you put an article, you create a title, a slug, a URL for the article, a small text, a category, and so on. And the plugin adds you a special box, which is supposed to help you in making in having a better optimized website. I will discuss it a bit later, but so this is one of the most used boxes. It lets you edit the title, so if you don't like what it's in here, you can make it a bit different. So you can make it like this, and now it's smaller. And if you want to use the keyword, you can just copy paste it. And I will just cut this, and still too long, still too long. Okay, so now it's good. And it helps, look, you just copy paste this, and now it's good. And if you want to add for publishing, it makes no sense what I've written, but just for the purpose of showing an example. So now I have more than one yes, and so on. I should use it in other places, and it's quite good. I've seen people doing it a bit wrong. So if you, I will mention it a bit later. Focus keyword. This thing is for internal use, so it's meant for you. If you have a website, I will link to it. Let me just. Okay. So I made you. You should have a look at this article which I made, and okay. Okay. So in this article, I talk about. I give you I give you an example on how to make the keyword list for a website. And if you establish that publishing is a relevant keyword for you, then yes, it's good to write that keyword, and the plugin will help you by telling you how to use that keyword. But it's for internal purpose only, and I've seen people writing it just to get this to yes, to have all of them to yes, writing it poorly. So they don't know, some people, that it's just for their use, and they don't understand very well how to use this thing. Okay, another thing, for is supposed to be a stop word. So most search engines are fine if you don't include for in it. So in Romania we have de, which is a preposition, but in English it's for. And even if the URL doesn't, the slug, the link of the article doesn't contain for, in my opinion, this is a very well made. So if I want to optimize for publishing, it doesn't have to contain the word for, but the plugin tells me I'm doing something wrong, and perhaps a percentage would have been much better. So let's say I like in this example I am 80% okay. Yes, perhaps I could add 4, but it's still fine. And now it tells me with red, no, you haven't done things correctly. But in my opinion, this URL is quite well optimized for this keyword, so it's not a big problem. But the plugin forces me to add 4, which is a bit strange and wrong. Okay. These are a bit advanced. Most people don't need them. So if you write a blog post, generally you don't want it either no follow or not indexed. The canonical URL is the plugin sets it automatically very well, so you don't need to change it. It's very atypical if you need to have something like this. And most of the times, yes, it's good to edit Facebook title, description, and image, but it can get it from the meta description in here. So it generally don't need to edit them. This is quite interesting, and I like it a lot, because if I write a blog post and I add an image, sometimes the image is vertical and I don't want to change it, and I want a solution to just edit it for Facebook. And this is quite nice. So I can make a photo just for Facebook and just upload it here, and it will just show in Facebook. I like this a lot. Okay. Other things the plugin does. So it allows you to edit the titles. To me, this option quite all the times since I've used it, when I used it, it never worked. This is quite nice, and it looks okay, but it's a bit too fancy. I don't know. So it's easy and nice, but it's a bit too much, and I will come back to this, because it I don't know, it might ask for some resources, but it's easy, and so it's a nice thing to have, but I would prefer it would not ask for resources for the blog. These are quite well made, so even the standards one are quite well made. And while I don't use this, I will talk about this. Some people agree with no index and follow, so it's your choice. Meta keywords, it's good. So there was a time when meta keywords was widespread, and it's very hard to impose people not to use it. So I like that the default is okay, don't use it, but if you still want to use it, it's okay. And they tell you have no reason for using it, they do it okay. This is good. So if you I will give you some alternatives to this, but if you just want something quick and easy, this is a very good solution. Okay. So I told you about the focus keyword. It's just it's just for internal use. I wanted to make it very clear. Another function, I don't know, the link was a bit strange. So if you want to have XML, you can have sitemap XML for Google, and breadcrumbs, and I think they are quite well optimized even for Google. They're quite well made. A thing which I generally change, so at RSS, right now the plugin is deactivated, so it can't work. But at RSS, it adds a code. So the first thing I do when I activate the plugin is the following: go to RSS and remove that code. I will just show you. Okay, so I activated the plugin, and in here it has some post. When I first install it, it's got something like this, author link and blah blah and something like this. So I would suggest not to use it, but it depends. So on most websites I don't need that because it makes my visitors a bit angry, in my opinion. But some people might want to include it, but I generally don't use it, and I don't like that it's by default do this option. And the other thing which I change, I go to titles and metas, and at archives this is checked, and I don't like it, and I always change it. I always remove this. Okay. This is quite nice because it allows me to mass edit the titles and descriptions for lots of things. And this is quite well because it allows me to get settings from other plugins. I like this a lot. This is very well. So if I well made. So if I go to options and say, check this option, I don't want a search engine to index my website, immediately the plugin tells me. And until I click this button, it will tell me constantly. So it's a very good option. So as long as the option is checked, the plugin will tell me. So I will do a live demo. Now even if I go to writing, it's still telling me. And I have to click it to make it disappear or uncheck it. If I put another plugin at the same time called Google XML's plugin, I will recommend this plugin, or perhaps other plugins. I'm not sure. I haven't tested them all. But even if I put a plugin which WordPress SEO knows might interfere with the functionality of this plugin, it will tell me. Perhaps it's not very nice of them because the first option is okay, deactivate the other plugin, leave ours alone, and it also gives you the options, okay, I will disable this function, but okay, the warning itself is a good idea because it's a good to know that you're part of an ecosystem. So I like this implementation. The problem is that it tends to happen the following thing. So usually it happens with Nero, okay, with the CD burning. You want something to write a CD, and it's a simple software, and you can't have too many options writing a CD. So speed and there are some settings, but not too many. And after a while, you as a CD as a producer of software for burning CDs, you want to make things better. You want to give some extra functionality. How do you do that? Generally, you do this by adding some other functions. And currently, Nero has become very big. It's a huge software. It partially happened with Office software. So Word is fine, PowerPoint, Excel, but at some point there are so many things doing, and if you just want Office with a simple thing, you generally don't understand even what you get. And I think there is a bit of a problem of having a software which does too many things because it requires some resources. And to test my theory, I have used this plugin. It's linked in the description of the video and in the description of the article. It's made by GoDaddy. It's not as popular as the plugin made by Yoast, but I think it's a good plugin and you should try it if you haven't used it.